shimmy yeah, I'm shimmy yeah. AD on your radio like every day. I'm totally all-city champion from the north back to the south. And even your mama loves it when I open my mouth. And I love it when your mama opens her mouth too. You see what I did there? Yeah, it's kind of sort of just what I do. You'll be all like, what the hell? What did AD just say? I'm not sure if I'm offended or if he just made my day. A little insane in the brain, but I'm always entertaining. Remain in the game, I'm maintaining and gaining. My ratings soaring, my competition's boring. They play by the rules that I'm always ignoring. I'm raw, I'll bring it to you straight hardcore. And I'll leave you want some more. So turn it up loud, cause you know you love the sound when I rock your radio. Rock your radio, rock your radio, rock your radio, rock your radio, rock your radio. On your radio, your radio, your radio. My dear, I do not know you, but you know me very well because you hear me every single day that you're alive. I'm the voice in your head from the time that you wake up to the car, to the bed, from the FM to the AM to the XM. I get it done any day, every day. You can find me here at number one. Did I say that I'm number one? I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number one, bits 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your TV, on your radio, on your stereo, everywhere you go. There I am, you know, and you know you can rely on me to be giving you what you need. I'm raw, I'll bring it to you straight hardcore, and I'll leave you want some more. So turn it up loud, cause you know you love the sound when I rock your radio, 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 on your radio, your radio, your radio. Up loud, cause you know you love the sound.
Go ahead, favorite the show and enjoy AD on the go. iHeartRadio presents AD.
Yep. That's what iHeartRadio is presenting. Yours truly, AD. We're a bit thrown for a loop because we are the enemy of technology today. And, well, I already consider today a win because I haven't smashed anything in the control room, so that's good. That said, the show is a scotch off track. But if we have time to today, we'll discuss the pro-death, pro-lifer. The GOP type who says it's fine for kids to die in the name of God. She is pro-life, though. Right now, though, let's power through what remains of the news, Funkhauser. What else is going on? What were we talking about? Oh, Kid Rock being a grandpa.
Yeah.
And me pelting potential fans that I alienated with water bottles. It did not go well in that particular instance. That would have been weird. I wonder... Did you
ever dive into the crowd when you were on stage?
Well, in England all the time. And it didn't usually happen that you dove. You sort of did a trust fall occasionally, and you only did it when the audience kind of egged you on to do it. Because you want to be... Like, I saw so many guys in bands attempt to do, like, this, mighty monolithic stage dive, and it's like the parting of the Red Sea. Like, I've heard singers in bands hit the floor over the sound of the band playing. Yeah. So... it's cool that you want to go for that big rock star moment where you jump into the crowd, but you want to make very certain that it's the right thing to do before you do it. So there's times when crowd members are kind of egging you on and you do a little bit of a trust fall situation. I remember playing one festival one time where we were on a flatbed truck like they used to have. I think it was a Warped Tour date. And the second stage on Warped Tour used to be a flatbed.
Yep.
And
it wasn't the Ernie Ball stage, was it?
No, it wasn't the Ernie Ball stage, but it was like second stage at Warped Tour, like the Warped Tour stage, not one of the bazillion stages that the folks over at Warped later on allowed to happen. It's just like, hey, if you give us money, we'll let you have your own stage. And it's like, oh God, Warped Tour used to be this awesome thing. It got so diluted and watered down because the folks that ran Warp started taking sponsorship money from anyone, and they're like, here's a piece of wood and some amps. You can put your name on it. And it's just like it went from being this one thing where either you were watching one stage or you were watching the other stage. And then it became this thing where it was so diluted, and there's like everywhere you look, there's guys in bands screaming at you at the top of their lungs as 5 people watch, being like, these guys suck. That starting to sell sponsorship on the Warp Tour is kind of, I understand, you got to make money, and it's not going to be made off of ticket sales a lot of the time. And I respect what they did. You know, they really managed to keep something going at a time when a lot of things went away. Like the fact that Warped Tour made it through the recession, very, very impressive. But the things they had to do to keep it going really kind of, I think, diluted what made it special in the first place. But no, it might have been at a Warped Tour, and like the second stage was this kind of like flatbed, and they kind of left the roof on the truck. So if it started to rain, you know, the electronics wouldn't go down in a cloud of smoke. But I remember climbing up onto the roof of the flatbed once and doing one of those sort of stage divey trust fall things. That was pretty cool. But you got to be careful. You really have to be careful. And then in England, where people aren't as too happy, it was a totally different thing, because here you're not allowed to stage dive. Like, before we were allowed to get insurance to go on the road, to go on tour, we had to sign waivers saying we do not encourage or participate in moshing, crowd surfing, stage diving, and any of the above. In England, where lawyers aren't allowed to commission lawsuits, you don't really have that problem. So you'd get rules for stage diving and crowd surfing. It was actually really cool. I found mosh pits to be much more friendly, much more inclusive, have a lot more girls in them back in the day, and that was a lot of fun. But there were times when crowds in England would like physically pull you off of the stage and be like, all right, you're going to be riding around on us for a little while. Hope the microphone cable reaches. It was weird once, though. Like, I got yanked in once. Literally all my clothes were torn off. I got back on stage in my tighty whities. And it was back in the day when it was acceptable to buy jewelry at hardware stores. And I had one of those ball chain necklaces things.
Oh, yeah, I had one of those, too.
Yeah. But, like, when some people are pulling your leg and other people are pulling that thing around your neck, like, I'm there in my underwear and sneakers had my clothes torn off me, almost passing out in the pit. And finally, I got my hand around that thing and sort of like managed to release it. I was like, somebody gets a necklace. Hopefully I get to live. It was a dicey moment. But
feels like a Bill Cosby show.
Yeah. Thank you. Are we good to go on this?
Does your thing work now?
Oh,
your little doppelganger work? No. Oh,
No mouse. But hey, we're having fun. Like I said, you can't control the universe. You can only control your reaction to it. I think we've turned this around. I think we've managed to turn Ship Stabby into Ship Okay.
It's no longer taking water, is it?
Yeah. Go on.
Searches for, quote, bondage, sadomasochism, and submission have increased since the release of 50 Shades of Grey.
Even more disturbing, found this out on my grandma's internet history. There's
Nana, why are you doing that?
There was like a college freshman that I think went to jail recently for doing 50 Shades of Grey stuff to his girlfriend. And it really did seem like he was just too young and stupid to understand exactly what was going on. Because she was like, no, don't stop. And he was like, oh, no, don't stop. Great. You know what I mean? So it's like, and he just completely misread the situation, and now he's going to jail because, no does in fact mean no, and they weren't old enough or sophisticated enough to figure out the safe word, but they decided
banana,
to try
tippy toe. Banana, tippy toe.
Yeah. So they didn't know banana, and they didn't know tippy toe, so as it turns out, this kid's going to jail for not knowing when to stop doing the 50 Shades of Grey reenactment on his girlfriend. And, obviously, I don't want to ever downplay assault. I don't ever want to downplay violence against anyone, especially not sexual violence against women. And reading through it, I really don't think that was the intention. I think he unintentionally did something horrific to this girl, thinking it was part of the game. And it's just, you know why? This is one of the reasons that adult stuff is for adults. You have to be emotionally and intellectually equipped to deal with certain situations. And now this kid did something horrific to his girlfriend, and he's going to jail for it, and that's not okay.
Got to
for
know when to
anyone.
hold them, know when to fold.
Right. Oh, folding. You can tell that you work with porn after you leave here. I don't know what folding is. Go on.
McDonald's is bringing back chicken selects.
Oh. McDonald's customers jump for joy. Or at least hit a close approximation of jumping as much as you can do after having lost various limbs to diabetes.
Viktor Frankl lived through Auschwitz, a concentration camp. He wrote Man's Search for Meaning Between Torture, Cold, and Damp. Victor could have just given up and been resigned to his fate, but he used it to write a book that made the world a better place. Bethany Hamilton lost an arm surfing in a shark attack, and what she had to overcome was crazy in the aftermath. Nobody would have blamed her for taking a different path, but she's pro surfing now, so what do you think of that? Helen Keller was an animal caged by being blind, deaf, and mute, but a teacher, Ann Sullivan, never gave up on the truth that what people say is impossible is just their own perception. Taught Helen how to speak and gave her life its direction. And if a woman can go from being considered to be legally an animal to a college grad, activist, symbol of what's possible, don't you think it's true that you might have more to you than whatever people told you you're not smart or strong enough to do? You're giving up on ever being any better than this. You're giving up on the idea that even more exists. Giving up, nothing on earth will end you faster. Cause when you lose hope, that's a real disaster. Giving up on ever being any better than this. You're giving up on the idea that even more exists. Giving up, nothing on earth will end you faster. Cause when you lose hope, that's a real disaster. Yeah, so many people you see giving up, cause it's easier to face giving up than not living up to all the things that you had said you wanted to be. When running away from challenge seems to be so much more easy, cause man's search for meaning means disbelieving, means not perceiving you're less of being, and you got something to offer that no one can take away. It means not accepting what life hands you every single day, and every way you write a story that just belongs to you. So when asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do?
Got somebody to be right. Got somebody to be right. For now.
Delivering fascinating subjects, interesting talk, and boobs and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah. You've been talking about me.
Alrighty then, Funkhauser. Let's wrap up the news.
Hey, let's go to Alaska.
All right.
Alaska became the third state in our union to legalize marijuana.
All right. Brings a number of reasons to visit Alaska to one. Yeah. Yeah.
The Girl Scouts released an easy bake oven that lets you make Girl Scout cookies at home.
Oh. That's interesting, Funkhauser. The Girl Scouts released an easy bake oven that let you make Girl Scout cookies at home, but I think you left off the beginning of that sentence. The beginning of that sentence should go, hey, Colorado, Washington, and now Alaska. The Girl Scouts released an easy bake oven that let you make Girl Scout cookies at home.
And Jamaica.
And, right. Yeah.
Jamaica has voted to decriminalize marijuana.
Oh. Well, and maybe now, with any luck, Jamaicans may finally get to smoke some weed. I hold out hope for them. It's decriminalized. That means, like, it's not legal. It's not medicinally legal. It's not recreationally legal. It's just you can't go to jail for having, like...
They're not going to throw you in the clink anymore?
I guess. I don't know. I never fully understood what decriminalized meant. I know they decriminalized pretty much all drugs in Holland a little while back. And I think that I think decriminalization helped tremendously in terms of unburdening the prison system and unburdening the taxpayer, where it's like, hey, you don't have to pay for some guy to rot away in prison for the rest of his life because he had 1/8 of an ounce on him.
Yeah, so it's probably a ticket now. You know?
Yeah, it's like a parking ticket. know if we've got time with everything that happened with the mice. It's one of those things that you don't really pluralize. We were talking about it off the air. Like, if you're talking about numerous mice that squeak and run around and you sick your cat on, you can say mice. But when you're talking about a mouse that connects to your computer, it just seems unnatural to say mice. But the engineer came in, tried a bunch of different mice, plugged them into the computer, and none of the mice worked. And we've been thrown off the whole morning because, can't get into the